Once upon a time, there lived a girl named Chica. Chica was a very beautiful girl, and she was a very humble girl. She was an only child. Now, although Chica was a happy girl, her home was not happy. Because every day, her father would always beat her mother, for no just reason. Maybe because she put too much salt in the food, or because he was so drunk and he started hitting her mother. Her mother would cry and cry and cry, and Chica would also always console her mother, telling her everything would be okay. But Chica's mother was heartbroken. Although Chica's father never hit her, Chica unknowingly was affected by this. Now, anytime suitors would ask for Chica's hand in marriage, she would tell them she was not interested in marrying, because Chica believed that every man was like her father. She didn't want anyone to beat her. She did not want anyone to hunt her. She just wanted to live a quiet life, have her own farm and her own home. There were many men that were persistent in asking for Chica's hand. One of such men was Akunna. Akunna was a farmer, he said. He lived in a neighboring village. He had seen Chica in the market square and had fallen in love with her, and he wanted to marry her. But although Chica liked Akunna, he seemed nice and respectful. She didn't want to marry him because once upon a time, her father also seemed nice and kind to her mother. But look at how their own marriage has ended up. Akunna was a patient man. He gave Chica time. He did not know what it was, but he believed that something was preventing her from saying yes to him. But he was patient, he was kind, he would buy things for her, bring things from his farm for her. Chica appreciated this, although she maintained and consistently said that she would not marry anyone. Now there was another man that was asking for Chica's hand. His name was Obiora. Obiora was not like Akunna. He behaved more like a lion. He was very persistent in pursuing Chica. But Chica insisted that she didn't want to marry anyone. What do you mean by that? Obiora said. A fine girl like you don't want to marry? Don't you want to have your husband and children? Look at me now. I am a rich businessman. You should be grateful that I'm asking for your hand. There are other women that are lined up for me. And then go and marry them, Obiora. Go and marry them and leave me alone. I said, no, I'm not interested in your money. I'm not interested in you. Come off it. Come off it. Don't think that you'll be beautiful forever, Chica. Don't think that. Marry me now that you're beautiful, because when you're old and wrinkled, nobody would want you. Obiora was showing signs of her father's behavior, and Chica said no, she would not marry him. This made Obiora very angry. Now, during this time, Chica's mother and father had a fight. Her father beat her mother so much that her mother fell down and hit her head. They rushed her to the herbalist, but the herbalist said it was too late. Her mother was dying from the inside. Chica began to cry and cry. Her father too was crying. Oh, please help my wife, help my wife. Do whatever you can, he told the herbalist. But the herbalist said it was too late. Chica's mother had begun to die, and she would not last beyond this night. And as he said it, so it was. Chica's mother died. She lived a painful life, had a painful marriage, but stayed in the marriage because of her child. In the end, her husband beat her to death. It did not take more than 2 months. Chica's father began to sleep with other women. He remained a drunkard, although when Chica's mother was buried, he cried and cried and cried. Chica's mother was buried behind the home, and Chica would always go there and cry. She would cry for her mother and cry for the painful life that she lived. She always wondered why her mother did not leave her father. But yes, and this time people will blame the woman. She will be seen as a fallen woman, someone who couldn't maintain her marriage. Now, as irresponsible as he was, Chica's father began to wander from village to village. He was not always at home, leaving Chica alone. Now, during this time, Akuna, her suitor, had told her he was going back to his own village. Something important had come up, and he was needed immediately back home. So he went to his village. Because she was mourning her mother, other suitors had left her alone. But one suitor was persistent. His name, again, is Obiora. One time, Chica was coming back from the market, and Obiora saw her and was asking her again. But this time, Chica was not patient. Obiora had been disturbing her for months now, and she had been consistent in saying no. Now, she just shouted at him. In her grief and pain, she shouted, "Leave me alone. Leave me. I do not want to end up like my mother. Get away from me, you useless man. You small rat. You call me useless? Me, Obiora. It's okay. I will deal with you." Chica did not care. All she wanted to do was get home. So she hissed and went home. Now that night, as usual, Chica went to the back to spend some time at her mother's grave. Then she went to the kitchen to cook something to eat. Her father, as usual, was not at home. She was the only one at home. And then she decided to go to bed. When she entered her room, she immediately realized that something was wrong, but she did not know what it was. She entered her room to lay on the bed, but something told her to put on the lights. And as she put on the lights in her room, she saw Obiora. He was standing next to the bed. Chica screamed, "Obiora, what are you doing here? Leave my house, leave my room. How did you enter my house?" Obiora did not say anything. "So I've been asking you to marry me since, and you refused, eh? I asked you to marry me, you said no. You stupid girl, who do you think you are? What do you think you have that I'm not seeing outside? Obiora, please, what's the meaning of this? Please leave my house, leave my room. What is... I will scream, oh. I will scream and all the villagers will come here. Shut up, you stupid woman. Scream to her." Chica, thinking that it was only her and Obiora that were in the room, the next thing she knew, 4 other men came from nowhere. And they grabbed Chica and threw her on the bed. And one by one, they attacked Chica. Chica screamed like an animal. She screamed and screamed, but the men did not care. When they were done, Obiora said, "Now no one will marry you. Stupid girl. What was that thing you were hiding? Eh? Something I finished eating and cleaning my mouth. Stupid girl." All the men laughed at her and left. Because Chica was a virgin, she was bleeding. She was bleeding so much. In pain and weakness, she crawled from her room, then crawled out of the house, and then crawled to her mother's grave. Throughout this time, she was still bleeding. And she laid on her mother's grave and cried. "Mama, take me," she said. "Take me." She called on the gods to allow her to die. She wanted to die now. Before Chica could say any other thing, darkness befell her, and she fainted. The next day, one of the 4 men that were with Obiora that day was in the farm farming. He was with his father and mother and sisters. They were farming and farming and farming, and then the next thing, Chica's mother appeared. She began to whistle, and everyone was looking for who was whistling, but they couldn't see anyone. But when Obera's friend, his name Ifeanyi, raised up his head, he immediately saw Chica's mother. He did not recognize who she was because he had never met her before. But the woman was tying white wrapper and looking straight at him, and she was whistling and whistling. Her eyes were red. Immediately he knew that she was not human. He began to scream, "Leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone." His parents turned and said, Ifeanyi, what's wrong? Ifeanyi, what is happening? Leave me alone. Can't you people see her? See who? See who? Where is she? Where is she? Look at her. Look at her. She's in front of me. Hey, Papa, help me. Papa, help me. Oh, Papa, help me. Immediately, Chica's mother brought out a rope, used it and tied Ifeanyi's neck, yet no one could see her. And Ifeanyi began to choke. Bring water, bring water. But they couldn't see what was choking him. They did not know that the woman, Chica's mother, had pushed Ifeanyi to the floor, stood on top of him, and was squeezing his neck until Ifeanyi died. And the woman disappeared. Ifeanyi's parents began to scream. They cried and cried and cried for help. And all the villagers came. What type of strange death is this? Why will a young man like this begin to scream and scream? His mother said he was seeing a woman. He said he saw a woman, but nobody could see her. What type of spirit is this? Now, the next week, the 3rd man that was with Obiora that day they attacked Chica, his name was Ugo. Ugo was talking to his wife-to-be. They were under a tree and they were talking as lovers and laughing. The next thing, Chica's mother appeared behind Ugo. Ugo could not see her because he was backing her. But his wife-to-be, Chinelo, saw her. Mama, what is the problem? She said. Chica's mother was tied in white wrapper. Her eyes were red, but she didn't say anything. Immediately, Chinelo said that Ugo turned. Mama, what is it? How can we help you? The woman didn't say anything. The next thing, she brought out a whip and began to flog Ugo. Chinelo screamed and ran. Mama, stop it, stop it, Ugo was shouting. But the woman continued to whip him. At first, he thought it was a normal whip, but the whip had thorns in it. So each time she raised the whip and flogged him, it tore his skin. And eventually, before Chinelo could come back with help, Ugo had died. Now again, everybody was surprised. What is happening? What is happening? This time, Chinelo was the one who saw the woman. She said the woman seemed like an old woman, as if the woman was in pain. Her eyes were red. There were bruises all over her body. She tied white wrapper. It is most likely that she's not human, the girl said. She told the villagers this, and everyone was surprised. Why would 2 young men die just like that? By this time, Obiora and the remaining 2 men were beginning to suspect that something was wrong. How can 2 of their friends just die like that? This was brought before the king, and it was brought before the Ezemo. And the Ezemo revealed to the king that something horrible had happened, that the gods are very, very angry, and someone had called out to the gods using her virgin blood. It was a very, very rare thing to do because the sacrifice of virgins has stopped. For someone to use her virgin blood to call on the gods was a covenant that they could not answer. And until all the people she wants dead are dead, this will not end. But who will do this? What could have happened? What will make a young girl sacrifice her virginity to the gods? What was it that was haunting her? The king asked. Now, as this was going on, the two remaining friends that were with Obiora that day were together in a room. They were thinking, what could this be? How can our friends just die like this? One of them, his name, Ebube, said, are you sure it's not Chica? Maybe she's the one doing this. My friend, shut up, his other friend said. His name was Chigozie. How can that small girl kill two grown men? Ugo and Ifeanyi are not small boys now. They can break her instantly. Besides, they say the person is a spirit. Chica is not dead. She's not a spirit. Nah. After that thing we did to her, oh my God. Are you sure we should not go and tell the king? Shut up. Don't you know that attacking a woman like that is grounds for death? They will sentence us to death. We will be executed before sunrise. So what do we do? It will be asking, what do we do? I've been trying to get to Obiora. Obiora has been avoiding us. Now, as they were talking, Chica's mother appeared. And both of them, seeing her, screamed, please leave us alone. Please leave us alone. What is it? What have we done to you? But Chica's mother did not answer. She brought out her whip and began to flog Chigozie. And Chigozie died. Immediately, Ebube ran to the palace. Igwe, help me, he shouted. Help me, she's after me. Who is after you? Open your mouth and talk, Ebube. Who is after you? Ebube's father was one of the cabinet members of the king. He was also at the palace. My son, what is it? Who is after you? Who's after you? Who is this person that wants to kill all the young men in this village? And then Ebube began to confess that he and his friends had attacked Chica in the most horrible way. And now he believes that Chica was haunting them. Once he said this, the Ezemo said, this is true. This is what must have happened. But the problem now is, where is Chica? Ebube said they left her in her house. So the king sent the chief priest, his cabinet members, and Ebube and some of the villagers to Chica's house. They went to the house, but they couldn't see her. But they could see the blood that had dried up over the few weeks. Then somebody went to the back of the house and they shouted, she's here, she's here. Once they went to the back of the house, they saw Chica on top of her mother's grave. The cabinet members were about to go towards Chica to lift her up because they had been calling her, she was not answering. Chica, wake up, Chica, wake up. What is the meaning of this? They were saying. Immediately, Chica's mother appeared and the Ezemo shouted, stop! Nobody should move anywhere. And then Chica's mother turned to the Ezemo and told the Ezemo everything as it had happened. The Ezemo, a grown man, began to cry. Then he turned to Ebube. Where is Obiora? Where is he now? Ebube began to cry. I don't know. Since that day, we have not seen him. The Ezemo turned to all the cabinet members and told them the horrors that Chica had seen, simply because she said she did not want to marry Obiora. Now, some villagers were sent to go and get Obiora. But when they got to Obiora's house, they saw him hanging from a tree at the back of his home. He had killed himself. The Ezemo lifted Chica up and took her to his shrine. He tried to heal her because Chica was still not waking up. Obiera's body, because of the crime he had committed, was thrown into the evil forest. And Ebube was banished from his home for 6 years because of the crime he had committed. Because he had confessed, he was not banished forever. Chica stayed with the Ezemo for many days. The Ezemo washed her, cleaned her, and was always giving her herbs. Meanwhile, everybody in the village had begun to talk about Chica and how no one would marry her because of what had happened to her. Although they sympathized with the horrors that had happened to her, none of those people would allow their sons to marry her. But when Chica woke up, not only did Ezemo have to heal her physically, he had to begin to heal Chica mentally. Now, during this time, Akuna had come back looking for Chica. News has reached his village about the girl that was attacked by Obiera. He remembered that Chica had complained to him about somebody called Obiera always asking for her hand, but she had rejected him. When Akuna came back to Chica's village, they told him that Chica was with the Ezemo. Now, Chica did not want to see Akuna because she believed that she was damaged and not good enough for anyone. But Akuna insisted that he would still marry her whenever she agreed to marry him. To prove that he was sincere, Akuna took Chica to his own village. Lo and behold, Akuna was the prince of his own village, and he had many resources to help Chica with her mental health. He had many experienced herbalists and Ezemos who had dealt with people who suffered from mental issues. Chica had suffered a very traumatic issue, and Akuna wanted the best of the best to treat her. And that is what he did. He took her to his own village, and there nobody knew who Chica was, except for the Ezemos that were treating her. And eventually, after months, Chica began to become whole again. And because of Akuna's persistence, gentleness, kindness, love, Chica said yes, that she would marry him, and they eventually got married. And Chica became a princess of Akuna's kingdom. Chica never saw her father again because he eventually ran mad from drinking too much. And one day, his wife's spirit appeared to him, and he never saw the next day.